This is part one of a video mini-series talking about what it was like for me and my team to go from being a waterfall team to a fully agile team, and the challenges we faced along the way. We were one of the first teams in my organizations to make the transition, and we had a Scrum coach who kept us in line when we strayed too far from the course. One thing I do want to get out of the way is that Agile, and more specifically Scrum, is not a prescriptive methodology. Instead, it's just a way of working that promotes transparency, responsiveness, and continuous improvement. So some of you will watch this video and realize that maybe we decided to do something differently than the way your team has decided to do something or thinks they want to do something, and therefore one of us is wrong. If what you choose to do works for your team and what we did worked for our team while still facilitating transparency, responsiveness, and continuous improvement, then we're all doing it right. Okay, let's move on. Part one, getting things started. One of the biggest challenges many new Agile teams face is getting through Sprint Zero. Agile is all about using previous performance to make good guesses on what you'll be able to do. And at this point, you have no previous data. So you're literally just having to guess and adjust. Similar to like going to the gym for the very first time or for the first time in a very long time, and you have no idea how much you can lift or how many sets you can do. So that first workout is going to be pretty much chaotic and probably not super effective. However, after that first workout, you'll have some idea of what you're capable of, and you can plan better for the next workout on exactly what it is you want to do. Starting your first sprint is very much like this. You just have to kind of get the gist of what things you want to be able to do. Theoretically, you should have some sort of a backlog. And essentially, you just have to get started, not be afraid to pull that trigger, because you won't really start gathering valuable information until you do that Sprint Zero. And that's why Sprint Zero is called Sprint Zero and not Sprint One, because it's just not going to be that effective of a sprint, but you will gather a lot of valuable data to make your subsequent sprints more effective. Estimation in Sprint Zero is obviously also very scary and challenging. In the beginning, because again, it's also relative, and you have nothing to compare to yet. However, because it's relative, you can kind of make just a best guess at your first user story, or pick a user story that you kind of already know is a middle-sized user story, and then give it a middle-sized value, whether you're using like t-shirt sizes like extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, or Fibonacci. As long as you just pick something in the middle, then whatever story you estimate next, you just decide, is it bigger than that one or smaller than that one? And then you just keep on moving from there. My team made a rule that everyone had to vote during story point estimation. We did it virtually through pointingpoker.com. Almost everyone is a little bit shy the first time they have to vote because they don't really have any idea of how anyone else is going to vote. And they're just afraid to look silly or dumb with votes that are way different from everyone else's. However, in the long run, what this really does is gives everyone on the team a voice. If they voted for their first time really high or maybe really low, then they could explain why they felt that this is a high or a low, and then someone else could explain why they might have felt differently. And then once everybody's kind of talking and understanding how everyone's thinking, you can make a decision on what you want that estimation to finally be. It made everyone understand what it really takes to get things done on our team, from like a code complexity perspective, from a testing complexity perspective, from an integration complexity perspective. So just having everybody have those conversations kind of got everybody on the same page. And this became especially valuable when we had new team members, because they might jump in thinking, oh, this is an easy story, then learn, oh yeah, maybe it's easy to code, but you have to test 100 different pages individually. So even though the coding is small, the testing is complex, and therefore it's a large user story. So that was part one about getting started. If you have any specific questions, let me know in the comments and I'll answer you there. And be sure to check out part two, which is about some of the people-based challenges you might face when moving into Scrum.